Just a short time ago, we spoke with LA Councilman Kevin de León, who says he has no plan on resigning his council seat, but he also says he failed. I guess my first question to you is the question all of LA has for you, which is, what is Kevin de León going to do? Will you resign your council seat?
Let me say that I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to deflect blame. I'm not going to defend the defenseless. This past week, I've taken inventory with my family, with my friends, with my staff, and I raised a light, a bright light, doing self-examination. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my constituents. I'm sorry to my colleagues. I'm sorry to the family of Mike Bond and to my family, to all those who have supported me, especially the janitors and security officers and the hotel workers, because I failed. I failed to step up and shut down a conversation. The words that were incendiary, words that were painfully hurtful, and I didn't do that. And I'm so sorry for the city of LA for not stepping up and being the leader that they expect me to be. Listen, I grew up in poverty. Youngest child of a single immigrant mother with a third-grade education. And I represent a district that's among the poorest in the entire nation. It was devastated because of the coronavirus. I had the highest infection and mortality rate. I have the largest homeless population in the entire city of Los Angeles. It's a district it's been underserved, it's been under-resourced, it's been under-financed, it's been underrepresented for years, if not decades. And my constituents deserve representation. I know I have to do the hard work. I have to do the really damn hard work to repair and to restore, the breach of trust that I've lost with so many folks. But my district does deserve representation, and I plan on continuing to represent my constituents. This has been really difficult and really painful. Yeah. I'm just so profoundly sorry for the hurt that I've caused, for so many communities in the city of Los Angeles.
Do you think that apology, though, will be enough when the calls for your resignation have come from as high as the President of the United States to the mayor to all the council members? I mean, how do you face those council members when going to work if they're all saying it's not tenable for him to come back?
I have to repair those relationships and regain the trust of my colleagues. I have to repair and regain the trust of others who have confided in me. I've always been up against many, many challenges, and obviously this is surely the biggest one I've ever confronted in my life. But my constituents do deserve representation. We need to heal as a city, and we need to come together and heal as a city. And I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that.
But let me press you on that a little bit. Is it possible, though, given what we've heard, for you to be part of that?
We shall find out. We shall find out. First and foremost, I have to repair my relationship with my constituents, the people who elected me to represent them in City Council District 14. I have to repair relationships with so many other communities that have been so vital and so supportive of me. I had to repair my relationships with my colleagues. That's going to be hard. It won't be easy, and I know that. I have to do the hard work, and I have to roll up my sleeves. But I want to help heal the city. I want to help heal the wounds that have existed for many years, if not decades. And I want to be part of that.
I mentioned the people who are not supporting you, but has there been anyone who is supporting you who would come out publicly and say that they would like to see you stay in office and make these, proceed with this healing that you're talking about?
I have a lot of folks who have been very supportive of me during this very difficult moment. Folks have voiced their thoughts and opinions, folks who I've apologized to profusely. That I failed in that moment, and I failed to step up. I failed to not shut down a conversation that I should have shut down. and I accept, my full responsibility. Like I said, I'm not going to deflect blame. I'm not going to mince words. That's not the Kevin de León that so many folks know. That's not the Kevin de León that so many folks, have known as a leader on so many issues. But I accept my responsibility, and I accept my responsibility for a lot of the pain that exists today.
Take me inside that conversation, because I think a lot of people were just sort of horrified by the concept of it, and obviously you're not the first politicians to have sort of a backroom, situation like this, where a group of politicians are sort of meeting to kind of carve up the city and talk about this sort of redistricting issue. How did this meeting come about, and what was the ultimate goal?
The meeting was called by then Council President Nuri Martinez. She asked us to attend this meeting. I was invited to the meeting. The role that I wanted to play is I wanted to have a voice in terms of representation for my district, that irrespective if I were to be there for many years or not that many years, that it would have a voice. It's a largely Latino neighborhood. It is largely poor. It is a community that has been understaffed, under-resourced, financed and underrepresented for many years, if not decades. So I wanted to make sure that we had a voice at the table, that we would have political representation, because political representation does matter. Absolutely. And that's why I was there. Right,
and I mean, of course, there's been past injustices too for Latino representation. But the problem is during this meeting, we heard Gil Cedillo say very clearly that he wanted to carve up historic African-American seats and change them over to Latino seats. People hear that and they hear a very racist situation playing out there, and it seemed like nobody stood up and said, "Hey, no, that's totally wrong."
Yeah, but it didn't work out. It didn't. At the end of the day, it didn't pan out that way. Without question, folks are entitled to their thoughts, to their opinions. I can't speak for someone else on what their thoughts, what comes out of their mouth.
But you didn't stop them, though.
And I failed in my leadership in doing so, and that's why I failed. I didn't step up, and I didn't intervene, and I didn't put a stop to it. And I am forever sorry for that.
Right. No, I understand. Nuri Martinez obviously said something absolutely vile. She compared Mike Bonin's young black son to a little.
I was completely shocked, obviously.
But you made a joke after it, though. But you made a joke about her son being like a purse right after that. So, I mean, is that really shock?
The comment was directed more towards Nuri Martinez and her penchant for having luxury accessories and luxury goods. It was a joke towards her and not towards Mike Bonin's family. But nonetheless, I apologize to Mike Bonin's family profusely.
How did that go?
My joke was directed towards her.
Right. And I'm just curious, when you did apologize to Councilman Bonin, did he accept that apology?
I called him. I got his voicemail. I left him a voicemail. I was going to apologize publicly at the city council meeting last week, Tuesday. Obviously, it was very difficult. I didn't get that opportunity to do so. But I do apologize profusely to Mike Bonin.
What was that moment in council like? I know you were there for a few moments, and Councilman Bonin gave a very emotional speech on the council floor. Did you speak with him at that point, or?
No, it was difficult because it was chaotic. It was ruckus. It was a very difficult, very painful meeting. Yeah. I stepped away towards the back so it could calm down, and the council president at the time, the presiding officer, could conduct the meeting. It was difficult. It was very painful.
And in terms of that, what does it look like getting you, since you're not going to resign at this point? How do you go back to a meeting right now when you had, the acting president O'Farrell saying he can't come back here, we're not going to have meetings, and now Krikorian, I don't know exactly whether he's made that declaration, but what does it look like for Kevin de León to go back to a council meeting at this point?
I have to do the hard work. I have to regain the trust of my colleagues. It won't be easy. I understand that. And that's why the past week I've taken a lot of reflection with my family, with my staff, with my closest friends. It's just been very, very painful, very, very, very painful. And I'm sorry to all of my colleagues. I'm sorry to my family, to Mike Bonin's family, to all the communities who have been hurt by that meeting. I failed. I failed in that moment in time to step up and shut that meeting down. I failed in not stepping up in stopping the incendiary words that were being expressed.
I mean, your critics have already said, so this is no shock, that they'll say, well, that's great, he wants to heal, he wants to do the hard work, but why can't he do that outside of the council? Why can't he do that on his own and let the city move forward without him? Is it a selfish decision to say, I'm going to stay put, I'm going to do this? Is it for you or is it for the city?
It's not about me. It's about City District 14, a district that's been underrepresented, that has gone through much difficulty in the past without no political representation. It's about a district that was devastated, eviscerated by the coronavirus. We had the highest infection and mortality rate. It is a district that is on the brink of adding more individuals, into the homelessness ranks because of the expiration of the eviction moratorium. It's because of a district that is home to the largest homeless population. They do deserve political representation. This won't be easy, and I understand that completely. And that's why I will always be sorry for not stepping up, for not stopping the meeting, for not shutting it down, and condemning right then and there, the
But I mean, would you be
words.
apologizing if this recording never became public? Would you, you wouldn't be apologizing now, right? I mean, it would be a moot point.
Actually, no, because I remember leaving the meeting, actually making a note, a verbal note to Councilmember Cedillo that I was shocked of the words that came out of Nuri Martinez's mouth. Of course, that's not captured in audio or video, but I remember walking down the hallway and saying that clearly.
To your point, I mean, I've been with you on a number of stories with the hard work that you've done. I mean, you have a long storied political career. I mean, not just here in LA, but President of the Senate. I mean, it's interesting sitting here right now with you in this context because you have done so much good work, but I just wonder for you how you move forward in your career after this.
I have to do the hard work. I have to repair. I have to help heal. I have to help restore. And that means rolling up my sleeves and engaging with my constituents. That means engaging with the communities that were deeply pained, that
Will
were
they engage
angered.
with you, do you think?
That's my hope. It's my hope that they will engage for that dialogue because we have to heal together. We can't heal at the exclusion, of those who help cause the pain. We have to help move forward together, and we have to heal together.
What's the first step? I mean, what does that look like? Does it mean reaching out to certain community organizations, community leaders?
I've reached out to various leaders and organizations. I still have, as you can imagine, a long list to still call, to reach out, to have the dialogue, to have those hard conversations, to listen, to learn, and to help repair, the pain that's in our community.
Have you spoken with Nuri Martinez or with Gil Cedillo?
I haven't had a chance to speak with her. No.
Or Ron Herrera?
I have not spoken with Ron Herrera, no.
When you look at sort of the macro here, and you were talking about sort of reaching out to different organizations, how do you expect to be received when you reach out?
I think there'll be a lot of pain because the conversations that I've already have begun, there's pain, confusion because they know that's not the leader who I've always been. But I failed, and I recognize that I failed during that moment, that I didn't step up. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, as it should be. I know it's going to be hard, and that's why I'm not going to mince words, or I'm not going to deflect blame.
Rick? Yeah, sure. Is it okay? What? 1 minute break. Is it okay if I take a minute break? Thank you so much for watching that. We'll have a lot more on KCAL 9 News this evening. But that has been the interview with Kevin de León, the councilman representing in the LA City Council, who says he will not be resigning.